Release the Kraken. At least it's got Jane Fonda in it. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. This came from the same studio that brought us Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon, so I thought this might have potential, but sadly, this movie does not rise to the level of those films. Shrek was one of my favorite animated films back in the day. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was incredible, and the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy was also really well done. This movie felt like it was done by the B team. The movie starts off in a cute place, and I had a few chuckles towards the beginning of the film. I go into most films wanting to like them, and I didn't know what to expect with this film, but yeah, it just didn't turn out very well. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken follows the story of Ruby Gillman, who is a high schooler, and finds out that she is actually a Kraken of a long lineage of other Krakens. The voice cast was mediocre, the dialogue in places was atrocious.
Ruby, you're a princess! Address the crowd!
I think I am having a panic attack!
And the biggest problem with this film was the story and the plot. It didn't really have one. It wasn't great. It felt like a script that was penned by ChatGPT. It entirely lacked any sort of emotion and was just a very paint-by-the-numbers story. The film lacked any emotional depth, and it felt like one of those straight-to-DVD or straight-to-streaming kind of movies. The lead character, Ruby, is into math, and she's kind of quirky, and so that's fun and cute for a bit, but she never goes anywhere with her story. Ruby's relationship with her dad and brother are somewhat non-existent. Her relationship with her mom is strained, but it never feels like it's real. It just feels kind of generic. The problem with this film overall is that it feels like just another generic movie that they needed to get out to have something to put out. It was entirely predictable, and it didn't make me feel anything in any way. I did laugh a couple times, but other than that, I didn't feel sadness or worry for the characters. I didn't feel hope. I didn't feel anything. It made me feel dead inside. When we were leaving the theater, I saw another mother who had her 8-year-old and 10-year-old, and I overheard them talking about the film, and she looked back at me and was like, yeah, I don't know what they were going for with that movie. Her oldest daughter claimed that it was okay, and then my two daughters, who are 7 and 10, said that it was a good movie, they enjoyed it, so it may be more targeted towards that demographic. They definitely did not enjoy it as much as they enjoyed Elemental, Pixar's latest film, but they said it was okay for them. I felt bad because I was like, I did not like this movie at all. Honestly, I enjoyed the trailer for Trolls Band Together far more than I enjoyed Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. This one was a swing and a miss. It felt like an early 2000s straight-to-DVD kind of movie. It plays out somewhat like a reverse Little Mermaid, in which Ruby and her family are on land and they do not go into the sea. Ruby's mother has taught her to be afraid of the ocean and to never go into it. This movie has a lot of potential and the concept could work, it's just not well executed. When I go to the movies, I'm always looking for themes, I'm listening for the musical score, and I'm looking for an outstanding performance, and none of that was present within this film. It just was a lackluster, forgettable movie. Which is too bad because Dreamworks has been putting out some really awesome stuff lately, especially Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That movie was incredible. We're getting a lot more movies right now, but I feel like we're also getting a lot of mediocrity. And this movie is the perfect example of a movie that just is not very interesting and doesn't have a whole lot to say. So many movies I love to say, this is what I loved about it, but it could have been better here and here. With this movie, it's just like, dude, start from scratch and just write a whole new script, because this movie just was not working. The third act was super bland, and I never felt like any of our lead characters were in any real danger. The dialogue is so bad. There was a line that actually said, "Trust me, I'm a mathlete." I found that I was much more interested in what was going on land with the human characters and her friends rather than what was going on underneath the sea with the Kraken story and the mermaid stuff. This is not a movie I would recommend, but if you have girls specifically in that 5 to 8 range, maybe 5 to 10, they might be interested in seeing it, and you will have to sit there through it. I am so sorry. I definitely don't think little boys will enjoy this movie. I think they'll be bored out of their minds, but there are likely some outliers out there. If you're excited about this film, I do not want to detract from your excitement in any way, but I just thought this movie was terrible. Sorry. This movie actually made me really appreciate Elemental, which we just recently saw, and the Little Mermaid remake. That movie was actually really good compared to this one. So if you want to check out my review for either of those films, you can find them here. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and I will catch you in the next one.